with another 3-point stance.
Ready, set, hike. Brad Evans and Ryan Horvat are lined up in their 3-point stance to blitz through every NFL team on BetMGM Tonight.
Here's how this little exercise works. We're going to talk about 3 fantasy values. We're going to decide whether the player is overvalued, undervalued, or properly valued based on current ADP. Then we're going to do a little prop stop, and then from there, a team lean. See what I did with a 3-point stance? It's 3 different segments, all in one segment, breaking down the Indianapolis Colts tonight. So let's start off in fantasy land. Let's start off with Michael Pittman Jr., a wide receiver 50 is the average draft position at 139.38. Half point PPR league is what we always lean into when we having these discussions. So with that in the back of your mind, Horvat, overvalued, undervalued, or properly valued Michael Pittman at WR50?
I'm going to say properly valued, man, right? Like maybe he finishes top 45, top 40, or maybe he surprises everybody. I love Michael Pittman, the player. What I don't love is the back injury, right? Like he had a fractured back, decided not to have surgery this offseason. So hopefully he's right and able to play at least 14 to 15 games. But I look in that quarterback room, and it's still Anthony Richardson, and it's Daniel Jones, and it's my guy Riley Leonard, who I loved at Notre Dame, but I never want to see at the next level. And then it's Kansas legend Jason Bean. It's like the boulevard of broken dreams in that quarterback room, man. I love the player, but last year the targets were there, 111 targets. But he only had 69 receptions, 808 yards, which would have him outside the top 40, 41st, 3 touchdowns. So I think as of right now, properly valued. Maybe Daniel Jones, balls out, but I'll say properly valued.
Yeah, I think it's about right. Really, the probably the most desirable wide receiver in this offense is Josh Downs. He was going at wide receiver 45, slightly higher, a little bit better in terms of consistency, in terms of catches. A guy that can operate underneath and stretch the field on occasion. Michael Pittman's been a bit of a disappointment. And you're right. Look, he was injury sapped last year. And, credit to him. He fought through it and, endured the pain. But I don't trust him. I don't trust Anthony Richardson by any stretch of the imagination at all. I think Pittman is, going to be barely a top 50 guy at all. Though he was number 28 red zone targets last season, number 19 in total area yards, so only number 61 in catchable target rate, had a 78.2 passer rating when targeted. Thank you, Richardson, Anthony. I'm down on Michael Pittman Jr. I will pass, though he is properly valued at WR50. Let's go Jonathan Taylor, who is the fantasy star of this offense. RB8. 22.08 is the ADP. So once again, properly valued, undervalued, or overvalued for JT?
Yeah, not to be boring, I'm going to go properly valued again. I can see him like 7 or maybe 6 on the list, but I can't go, top 5 right now. I worry he's getting a little bit older, still young enough, I think, to be a 1,200, 1,300-yard guy. I just don't know, again, what the quarterback situation is going to look like. But the thing is, they're going to need him. Obviously, whether it's Anthony Richardson and it's the RPO stuff, or it's Daniel Jones. I mean, the one year that he did have success and helped the Giants reach the playoffs, it was with Saquon having a monster year. Still last year, over 1,400 yards. He was 4th in the NFL, so was a top 5 back, 11 touchdowns. The workload was there, 303 carries. Obviously, Steichen and the guys like him. So I think that's about properly rated, though.
Yeah, it's about right. I'm not going to spend probably a dime more on Jonathan Taylor. The good news is he was number 1 among all running backs in opportunity share last year, getting 88.4% of the team's overall volume. He was number 6 in total red zone touches, but just number 40 in yak per attempt, number 27 in missed tackles forced. That's unattractive advanced data there, though Indy was number 4 in run blocking efficiency last season, but he gets some stacked fronts because of Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. So, that negates some of those opportunities. So, yeah, he's going to be a fringy top 10 running back. So, properly valued for me at RB8. What about Tyler Warren? Pretty aggressive draft value right now. Tight end 8, 107.88 overall. So, the first round pick for the Colts. Is he overvalued, undervalued, or properly valued again at TE8?
I'm going to say way overvalued. We just talked about those, like the wide receiver room, and already you have quarterbacks that can't get the ball to the wide receivers. Now, what I would like about his fantasy value would be just how they used him at Penn State. And without a real quarterback, I guess maybe you could do the wild card stuff. The wildcat stuff. Wow. You could line him up in the slot. I would have a man outside the top 10 right now, though. I think that's way too overvalued for a rookie.
I don't think he's going to be even a top 15 guy.
I don't
think so. This is it's bonkers. It's bananas. He's going top 8 right now in fantasy drafts at tight end position. Much better values you can get later on among TEs. I mean, look at what Mike Clay's projection is at ESPN. He's got him a tight end 18. And I think, honestly, it's kind of right. 51 receptions, 551 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, he may surprise us with some rushing data because he was utilized in that capacity at Penn State. But Anthony Richardson sucks. He was number 44 of 44 among quarterbacks in adjusted completion percentage last season. Daniel Jones, if he got the opportunity, he was number 14 adjusted completion percentage. I think that would be a boost to the Colts offense. But how long will Richardson, be the starter? How long is the leash? 6 games, 7 games? That's going to drag down everybody. I'm not buying Tyler Warren on the hype. Especially at tight end 8. All right, let's go to a prop stop. Let's start with Jonathan Taylor. 9.5 rushing touchdowns is a number. Plus 100 on the over, minus 130 on the under. What say you? Over under 9.5 rush TDs for JT.
I don't want to bet it just because I worry about injury. I worry just if this offense is terrible and if the defense isn't any good and they're trailing in these games, is he getting the red zone opportunities? How often are they going to be in the red zone? But I would only be able to bet the over. Again, had double-digit touchdowns last season. I think the only thing that prevents him really from being a double-digit touchdown guy again this year on the ground would be injury, but number seems about right to me.
I would say the over is the play here, especially at plus money, plus 100. He's a guy that had a ton of touchdowns last year at 18 on the ground. So, a guy that could certainly get it, or not, he had a dozen, overall. He had 18 receptions. Mike Clay's kind of projected for 10. Incredible, extreme usage, especially inside the red zone. Very good run blocking. So, I think he can get to 10. I'll take that at even money plus 100. What about Tyler Warren? 525.5 receiving yards, minus 115 in either direction. And Clay's got him on the over at 551. What say you?
Yeah, I would only bet the over, man. Obviously, they're going to utilize them. You could line them up all over the place. In the slot as a traditional tight end. They're going to be trailing in a lot of games, most likely, regardless who the quarterback is, right? I'm with you. I don't know that he's going to be a top 15 fantasy tight end, but this number seems a little short. So I would only bet the over on Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Again, I think he's got underwhelmed, but the number is small. I think he's going to go for probably around 540 to 550 in the end. So at 525.5, I'll take the over at a minus 115 juice. Let's do a little team lean. Right now, the over-under at BetMGM is 7.5 wins for the Indianapolis Colts, and it's a minus 110 in either direction. So Horvat, over or under 7.5 wins in Indy this year?
Yeah, I mean, the schedule isn't all that awful, right? We'll get a better idea tomorrow night when the schedule is actually released, but a lot of it's being leaked out. They're sitting there right now outside the top 10, 12th in strength of schedule. But I would only bet the under, man. I'm not there with Anthony Richardson, never have been. Maybe he proves me wrong this season. I'm definitely not there with Daniel Jones or anybody else. And I like Shane Steichen, but this is a big year. We talked about this with Jonathan Gannon in Arizona. I think the same situation for Steichen here, but I'm buying in on the Jags finally, making Trevor Lawrence into a man. And I don't think the Texans are going anywhere. I still think they're a double-digit win team. So I'm going to go under on the Colts. I think they win 6 to 7 games.
Yeah, I'm under too, man. I think it's 7 exactly. So that's 7.5. Again, Captain Hook is going to come into play here. They were number 24 in EPA per play offense last season. Is that going to improve? It might be a fat chance. It may not, especially if Richardson's under center for a long duration of time. Number 14 EPA per play defense. That was decent last season. They do have the third easiest projected strength of schedule, so that's an obvious plus. And you look at Mike Clay. Clay has given them better than a 50% win probability in 9 games. I just think they're going to underwhelm. I really do. So 7 games, that's my gut feeling. I'm going to stick to it for Indianapolis there at a minus 110 juice. All right, let's get you an update back in the NBA. So put up the score right now. Under 2 minutes remaining, 6-point lead for the Indiana Pacers. About to close this thing out, maybe against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, Halliburton with 29, Siakam with 21. The Cavs' backs firmly pressed against the wall. Donovan Mitchell doing his best to keep them afloat. He's got 32 and 9 rebounds in the game. Evan Mobley up to a double-double with 22 and 10. The 106-100 Indiana over Cleveland. The Cubs, the wheels are starting to come off right now. Bases loaded, top of 7, 2 outs, and they are down 4-2. So hopefully the Cubbies can right the ship and very quickly. All right, we got to take a little siesta here on BetMGM tonight. When we come back, we'll give you an update in Indiana and Cleveland, some final thoughts on that game, and our card rundown. How we looking tonight? It could be a bit of a roller coaster ride for your boy. Stick around. This is BetMGM Tonight on the BetMGM Network.